Hi, and welcome to M&M Reviews. My name is Margarita, but you can call me Rita.
Hi, my name is Miraj, and you can call me Miraj. So today we're reviewing episode 3 of
Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Yes. And it's going to be a spoiler-based review, so if you haven't seen it, click off. We're going to start with a summary, then Rita is going to say one or two things that you liked and disliked about the episode. You didn't have a lot to say here, and then I'm going to say some things, and then there might be a chat at the end. So the review is that in this episode, we see Falcon and the Winter Soldier begin by breaking out Zemo from the prison he's in, and the reason they have to do that is because Zemo, he made him helping them conditional on them breaking him out, and he knows information about the super soldier serum. Then after that, he tells them that the information they need is located in an island called Magipur. In some island outside Indonesia, it's like a lawless island. So they go there, and then first they locate a woman who has some information. She gives them some information, but then things go south because she finds out that they are like not whom they say they are, or Sam is not whom he say he is. So things look like it's about to go down, but then they get saved, and then it turns out that the person who saves them is Sharon, aka Peggy's niece, who made out with Captain America in Civil War, and she's been there living isolated
as a luxury art dealer.
As a luxury art dealer because of the fact that she's a wanted criminal since having helped Sam and Captain America in Civil War. And then they go locate this scientist who's making this new super soldier serum for some criminal called the Power Broker. They locate him, he tells them the information about how the serum got made, and then Zemo kills him, because he hates superhero soldiers, super serum soldiers, whatever. And then there's a big fight, bam, boom, bam, bam, bam. And they escape, and then they go to Latvia because there is the latest location of the
Flag
Smashers. And the episodes end when Bucky kind of wandering off because he saw some beads on the ground, and then he gets introduced to Nakima, to the Black Panthers, one of the head guard there, and obviously they're there because Zemo killed King T'Chaka, and now he's free, so they want that revenge they have been craving so much.
That's a really good summary.
Yeah. So what did you like and dislike about this episode?
I liked the episode visually.
Yeah.
It was very festive because there was just many different sceneries literally used throughout the episode. There was this prison scene. There was Zemo. He has a luxury car collection. There was some nightlife and some setup for this lawless area in Indonesia. There was some beautiful shots of Riga and a bit maybe of Vilnius. So I just liked how festive the episode was, and there was many characters and personages. People were wearing fun outfits. So I felt it was a very fun episode in the sense that a lot of events happened, a lot of characters were introduced. So I liked that.
What didn't you like about the episode then?
It was a good episode. I guess it was it felt this was the episode they needed to set up the rest of the show. So a lot of people were introduced. There was a lot that happened. They found out the person that was making the serum. They kill the person that's making the serum. They escape with Zemo. They meet the Black Panther. People arrive. I felt there was a lot going on. So there was not a lot of depth to anything that was happening. And sometimes it just felt a bit like the writers needed to get us from point A to point B, so they were gonna get us there, whatever means necessary. So sometimes I felt the exposition felt very forced, and sometimes it was just very shallow, but it was hey, that's what, they must need this to set up the rest of the show, and I feel there has been quite a lot of depth in the previous episode, so this was fine with me. It's not really a critique. But it was very much just an episode that gave us a lot of information.
Yeah.
But very like beautifully packaged and fun.
So, what I liked about the episode is that I liked Simo. I just really enjoyed that character.
Yeah,
he's a great character. I don't know if it's like the guy who's good at acting or if the character is very well written. But I
think he's good at acting.
Right?
Because he doesn't have that many lines.
Yeah.
A lot of it is really his presence.
Yeah, his presence. He has a great presence.
He has a really great attitude.
Yeah, so I really like seeing Simo here. I think he's a very interesting character also because he's like I guess he's like a villain, and I suspect they're gonna make him like he's at the end of the show he's gonna become like even more of a villain. But he's like interesting because he's like, you know, he's like a nuanced villain, and I feel like those are like quite rare in Marvel. He's nuanced in the sense that he is like he has this like perspective on the world that like it's worse off with all these like super soldiers and superheroes, and you can really both buy the argument, but you really buy the argument from his side. You know, you really understand why he has it, and I just also liked seeing him interact with with Falcon and the Winter Soldier. They all had very like fun interactions.
Yeah, they had
together.
really good chemistry.
Yeah, so I like that. What I did like about the episode, apart from what you said, I agree. It felt like very like they needed to get somewhere, you know. So they were gonna take us there, you know, cost what it ever may cost. But apart from that, I did like the fact that like the first episode was like all emotions, right? The second episode was like two things basically. It was like it was like emotions and this like buddy cop dynamic, right? And I feel like none of that was like kind of present here. I feel like the episode really didn't have like the emotional touch of the previous two episodes, and it didn't really have like the buddy cop comedy of the two previous episodes, although they had some moments. But so it was like this episode just kind of felt like a bit like it wasn't in line.
Yeah, I agree.
With like the kind of theme and tones they had set up in the previous episodes, and that bothered me.
I think it was because the episode moved so quickly. There was no time to really have fun between Bucky and Sam.
Yeah.
Of course, they could have written that in, but it felt they were just so rushed.
Yeah.
So the discussion about breaking Zemo out of prison between Bucky and Sam was less than a minute of screen time.
Yeah, and there was no Sam reaction to it, really.
Yeah, I agree.
I also personally really, really disliked, although this wasn't like a part of the episode really, but just like a thing that happened in the episode. And I really dislike what they did with Sharon. That bothered me like super much. So, because it's like, so she's a wanted criminal, right? So you're telling me that Captain America, he fought Thanos in Infinity War, and after that they were pardoned because they tried to save the world, right? And the world needed them, or whatever, because the blip. And this guy, who is like fucking obsessed with Peggy Carter. I mean, he's like an incel for real, you know. He's like got that incel obsession attitude, you know, because he's like, oh, Peggy, I love Peggy, whatever. I'm not making fun of Captain America, but that's his shtick, right? And he knows that there is this relative of Peggy who A, really helped them, who B, Peggy like really liked, and C, whom he kissed, so he really likes her also, is out there, or like might be out there, on the run, and he never went looking for her, and he never made sure that she was like pardoned. That makes like zero sense to me, like legit 0 sense. And I felt like, oh, they needed her to be there, but the way they put her there, kind of like really, either we have to overlook it because it's so stupid, or we have to accept it, and then we have to accept that Captain America is just kind of like a bit of an asshole.
But this is similar to how Tony didn't take care of Sam's family during the blip.
Yes, but I feel like this one is worse. Also.
No, I agree, because he had a direct personal connection. No, I agree with you. I didn't feel like it made me that upset, but
I
I
don't
agree
know.
with you logically.
Well, I feel like the reason it makes me upset is because like they're already like doing this thing where like they're giving this shield to the fake Captain America. So only like do they have to tarnish the legacy of Captain America in like more ways by like making him like not it but I guess like it's not that they're tarnishing his legacy. It's just that it really doesn't make sense for it to be that way, you know. So first of all, it doesn't make sense for him like after he breaks out all these people from prison in Civil War to then like not have her be on his team, right? But that doesn't make sense, or not have her be a part of like what they're doing, like associated, connected in some way, because he knows she's also on the run, because she's also a criminal, and she obviously was very capable. So that doesn't make sense. But let's say like he doesn't want to have her involved there because of the fact that like I don't know, she isn't that super compared to the other superheroes on the team, and they do superhero stuff. It's still like obviously he would like help her get back into the good grace after the blip. So yeah, I don't know. It just bothered me. It's like I didn't like it.
Yeah, I don't get it. So she was an outlaw because she stole his shield.
Yes.
But it's just that also it doesn't even make any sense that they would even need him to fix it for her in a sense. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Why would it?
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, no, that's a good point, right? Because like the whole thing presumably the whole thing after the blip, why Captain America and like Falcon, no, and the survivors who were outlaws could get back into the good grace was because like the governments just needed every like able body to really like help figure things out. So she could have just strolled in and then like, you know. Yeah. But that was just, plot inconsistency, I
But
guess.
it also felt, I mean, that was, I think, a weakness of the episode was that it felt that they needed, why did she even need to be there? Like, why did she need to be in the show? Because there was already Zemo in this episode adding to Bucky and Sam.
And then at the end,
there is already, we're learning more about the Flag Smashers.
Yes.
We're already learning more about the new Captain America. So it seemed very unnecessary.
It did seem very
They gave her
unnecessary.
a fight scene.
It was a good fight scene though. She was, yeah.
I mean, and they let her kill some people. It just felt...
It felt forced,
It felt very forced, and it just was confusing why she needs to be there. So the only reason I can think of is if they want to set her up to have a larger part later in the show because they're trying to make the show bigger.
Yeah, but it didn't seem like
adding
that.
in more, but now, she was just
Because she stayed,
there.
yeah, exactly.
So it was just more that they wanted to resuscitate her and have her be in the background for future Marvel projects.
Yeah,
it just didn't really make sense to me.
It didn't make sense. Like, part of me, I was like
and the whole story of her was just, I own a bunch of mermaid paintings because if I'm gonna hustle, I'm gonna do it. What does that mean?
Yeah.
What does that mean? So is she like she a top of the world level fighter and business lady? Why?
Yeah.
Why would she be that?
That makes sense. And it's also like, why was she even at the bar, where she identified them? So she has this place in Uptown, but she just happens to randomly be at this bar. Yeah, I mean, I agree, good point. It all felt very forced. And I guess one reason is why they did it is because they want her to be like kind of part of later project. But I guess another reason potentially why they did it is just and not to be like that guy, but it's they just wanted to have some gender diversity in the show.
But they have Carly. She's a girl.
The villain.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but
and I mean, they just had a show with Wanda.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And do you really think it's like that? Because I felt that would just be so dull if that was the case. Because it doesn't seem necessary. It's also why are they taking away from this black man's show to give more space to a white woman? Is
that's a good point.
Is that what's progressive nowadays?
Yeah.
I liked all the outfits in the show, though.
Yeah.
I like Zemo's outfit very much with the coat, and I like his mask.
Yeah. Oh, I also like the show. I like the show also. One other aspect of the episode which I liked was the fact that they continue to unpack the impacts of the blip.
Mm.
And I think that they had this commercial for this the people in the blip who came back, and yeah, I like that, and yeah. But overall, I think we would both say that this episode was like a bit meh, you know.
Yeah, it was mad, but it was enjoyable.
It was enjoyable.
But it wasn't. It again, it doesn't really make you excited to see what's gonna happen next.
Yes, it doesn't. Yeah. Yeah, I feel like the show is actually like the ending of the episodes in all 3 episodes are like a bit bad because they don't make you excited for the next episode.
WandaVision made you too excited.
So it made you way too excited. You were like, googling all the fan theories, watching all the YouTube videos. But here's like, I don't know if like Comics Explained releases a YouTube video. Am I gonna watch it? It's like, yeah, because I like Comics Explained guy. But it's like, am I gonna be like excited? I was like, no. Yeah. So I feel like they should have figured out how to do endings better here of the episodes. But I guess that's it. And so yeah, that's our overall take. Is like meh, but enjoyable. But enjoyable.
So okay, bye.
Ciao.